Hello there everybody, and welcome back to Teory Tuesday. Today we are going to be tackling the topic of who is the Masked Saiyan.
Ah yes, the enigmatic character from the popular Dragon Ball Z video game, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, isn't that correct?
Indeed, the character from Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, the video game.
Yes, indeed. Today we are discovering who is behind the mask, the true identity of the Masked Saiyan.
We have to find out who this character is, as for a very long time it has gone unknown, and I think it's finally time that it's put to rest.
Indeed, hours and hours of discussions finally ended today.
Alright then, let's get on with the evidence. Number 1. Who truly is the Masked Saiyan? Now this is the character that you're looking at here. So,
not a lot is known about the Masked Saiyan. His name is unknown. Age, gender, weight, and height, all unknown. Unknown.
And the famous quote that he said is unknown. Now, this character, he appears to be very mysterious. However, today we have compelling evidence that can show to you who he truly is.
Indubitably.
Now, potential candidates as to who the Masked Saiyan could be. Number 1 is Bardock.
Now, you may think that we are just selling out here. We are just choosing Bardock as he seems to be such an obvious choice for this question. I'll tell you now that is not the case at all. There may actually be some form of evidence to suggest that Bardock is actually the Masked Saiyan.
Indeed, he could actually be the Masked Saiyan. The evidence is here. They have the same hair.
Indeed, almost one for one.
They are the same height. They have the same weight. They wear the same headband. They have very similar armor. And they have a similar voice. Now, as you've seen in the famous quote from the Masked Saiyan, their voices are very, very similar. However, no. Bardock is not the Masked Saiyan.
Absolutely not.
This would be a waste of time if you thought Bardock was the Masked Saiyan. Now, candidate number 2 is Goku. Goku could potentially be the Masked Saiyan.
He has the same hair.
Once again, the same hair. However, he's slightly smaller than the Masked Saiyan. But he's slightly heavier than the Masked Saiyan, as seen from his weight.
And here's a strong point of evidence I'd like to put forth. He might be the Masked Saiyan.
He might be the Masked Saiyan. Indeed, this is a very, very compelling and strong piece of evidence to tell us that Goku could be the Masked Saiyan, because he might be the Masked Saiyan.
See, this is why you're my partner. You're always thinking what I'm thinking.
Indeed. Now, candidate number 3, Raditz.
Poor Raditz. Poor fellow was only around for 5 episodes, but maybe, just maybe, he was hiding in the background, lurking the entire time as the Masked Saiyan.
Now, our pal Raditz, the evidence here is that he wears a wig to hide his hair when he is not in the persona of the Masked Saiyan.
Of course, incredibly devious, wouldn't you say?
Indeed, he has never been seen with a mask on screen, therefore meaning that if he were to be the Masked Saiyan, it would make total sense for it to be Raditz, because if he's never been seen with a mask, and all of a sudden he's taken off his wig and he's wearing a mask, then truly nobody would know who he is. They have the same body type. I mean, look at this. Raditz and the Masked Saiyan, they are built the same. They both have a tail, for Christ's sake. A tail.
That means they are both Saiyans.
That means they are both Saiyans. And Saiyans who did not get rid of their tail. That narrows out a lot of the cast.
Exactly.
They wear the same boots. Now, in Dragon Ball Z, you see boots a lot of the time.
Many boots.
However, these boots are the exact same as the Masked Saiyans,
Exact same.
Exact
It
same.
is uncanny how similar they are, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. Now, both wear wrist armor. Look at who else in Dragon Ball Z history has worn armor upon their wrists.
There isn't a single character that comes to my mind, I can tell you that now.
Exactly, not a single character. But the most important detail that most people miss is that they both have green on their head.
They do indeed.
Raditz wears green over his left eye. For what purpose, you may ask? Well, as you saw in the series, it is a scouter, you idiot. Now, the mask of the Masked Saiyan has green on the forehead. Why else would there be green on his mask unless it was Raditz? No one else in the series has either worn a green scouter or had anything green upon their head.
Exactly.
Now, you may say, oh, but Piccolo has green antennae.
This isn't about Piccolo.
This isn't about Piccolo. This is about the Masked Saiyan. Now, right, next character is Napa. Next character is Napa.
Napa.
Now, the evidence towards Napa being the Masked Saiyan. They have the same hair. Who else in Dragon Ball Z has the same hair as the Masked Saiyan?
I'll tell you now, there is no one I can think of at all.
I can't think of a single other character to have the same hair as the Masked Saiyan. Now, as we saw earlier with the Masked Saiyan's character bio, Nappa's a lighter weight than him. However, they have the same colour scheme.
Not to mention, Nappa's head is mentally insane.
Insane. Now, who else is insane? The Masked Saiyan. Therefore, they have the same head, the same hair. He might be a lighter weight, but it's very close. The same color scheme. No one else in Dragon Ball Z has the same color scheme as the Masked Saiyan other than Nappa. Now, the next character is Kashmir.
Say his name.
I don't know his name.
Say his name.
This guy. So this guy, he could be the Masked Saiyan because he's got a big hat. Who else in Dragon Ball Z wears a big hat?
I can tell you.
Now, he must be wearing that big hat to hide his forehead that he also hides behind the mask.
Excuse me, you've lost the plot, you fool. He does not use it to hide his forehead, he uses it to hide his hair. The Masked Saiyan would want to hide his hair using his real identity, so he'd wear a hat. Why am I even partners with you? Idiot.
Of course, he would use the hat to hide his hair.
You know what, let me take it from here on. He has a robot eye, a pink one at that, which matches closely with the Masked Saiyan's eyes. He also has a large chin, something you'd want to conceal with a mask if it was that noticeable. He also wears gloves and also wears black and red.
However, the most compelling evidence towards this, although wearing black and red, does point heavily towards him being the Masked Saiyan. He was going to be in Xenoverse 2. Here is proof with a leaked model from an early development of Xenoverse 2. There's a scrapped model of this guy.
That's a shame, wouldn't you say? I'm sure thousands of people wanted this man in Xenoverse 2.
Of course, who else would have wanted to play as this character?
Yes, this guy.
I mean, he's interesting, he's compelling. He could be the Masked Saiyan, after all. The next character is... Did you put Belmod in here? I didn't put Belmod in here. The next character is Belmod.
Belmod.
God of Destruction, Belmod.
Yes.
Now, he could be the Masked Saiyan because he's a clown. He's a clown.
He's a clown, doesn't he? You know, he looks rather funny.
He has a red nose. I think that, the same rib cage. He has the same rib cage.
Yes.
Now, this makes total sense as towards being the Masked Saiyan. I mean, who else looks funny? The Masked Saiyan. Well, he has red nose.
Yes, yeah, yes, he has a red nose.
Um, the nose looks very similar. Um, King Vegeta is our next
King
character.
Vegeta, King Vegeta.
King Vegeta. Now, King Vegeta could very well be the Masked Saiyan, simply because the mask would cover his enormous forehead.
Yes, yes, it would. It would completely cover his gigantic forehead. And you know what else it would cover? His beard.
The beard, of
No,
course.
no one in the series has a beard so iconic. Of course, he'd want to use a
He
mask to
would want to
hide
use a
it.
mask to hide it.
Of
His
course.
forehead and his beard. That also explains why his forehead in the mask is so big. Now, also, he wears wrist armor. Who else in the entire history of Dragon Ball games, Dragon Ball as a franchise, as a concept, wears armor upon their wrists?
You know, I could not tell you. I couldn't name a single character.
Not another character. King Vegeta and the Masked Saiyan are the only two. Now, also, their shoes. They both have shoes with yellow stripy bits on the end.
Yes, and those some quite nice shoes as well, if I do say so myself.
Now, those shoes are iconic to not only King Vegeta, but also the Masked Saiyan. And who is Vegeta king of? The Saiyans.
The Saiyans.
And they have similar armor. But more importantly than that fact, as we've seen that before, they both have a tail,
A tail.
which also connects them to both being Saiyans once again. Now, the next character is the famous Dennis.
The menacing Dennis, of course, of course.
Now, the evidence towards one of the most famous and popular and iconic characters of all Dragon Ball Z. The evidence towards Dennis being the Masked Saiyan is he's not an emo like the Masked Saiyan.
Of course not. He looks nothing like an emo.
You would never see this guy and go, wow, that guy is an emo. Would you? Look at him.
His hair looks very nice, might I say. I'd love to try out that
Indeed,
hairstyle.
that mullet would look very beautiful upon your bald head.
Why is that? Was that an insult?
Now, if you notice here, he is also a Saiyan.
Did you insult me?
As you can see, because he is a Saiyan, this means that he also has very strong connections to the Masked Saiyan, meaning that they could be one in the same.
Yes, yes, I agree completely.
Now, the ranking for who these could be as into who is the Masked Saiyan. Number 8 is Bardock, as, let's be real here, Bardock looks nothing like the Masked Saiyan.
Absolutely not. The hair. Come on, that's so obviously not the same.
It would be too obvious to make Bardock the Masked Saiyan, as they. Well, what is there that looks similar? There is evidence, but they are not the Masked Saiyan.
Come on, let's not kid ourselves. We're Teory Tuesday. We're not game theory. We're not film theory.
We're not even food theory.
As a food theory.
Indeed. However, we are Teory Tuesday. We take this work very seriously, and we never laugh, as there are no jokes in theorizing. Now, number 7 is Napa.
Yeah, but there's still time to insult me, isn't there?
Number
you
7
swine?
is Napa. Napa looks very similar to the Masked Saiyan, and it's a shame that he's so far down the list. However, he's a lighter weight, and that completely throws everything off.
Also, he's just too insane in his head.
Indeed, he's too mentally
He's
insane.
Too
far gone. Number 6 comes Goku. Goku, again, he looks very similar to the Masked Saiyan, but he does not share a similar colour scheme.
You could argue he deserves a higher place, but we thought we put him down just because we thought there were more
characters
deserving
that look
places.
closer and could potentially be him more.
He still could be the Masked Saiyan.
could
If he
well
was
be the
revealed to
Masked
be, I
Saiyan.
would not be surprised, but I do think there are more likely answers.
Indeed. Number 5 comes King Vegeta. King Vegeta, while he might have the massive forehead and the luxurious beard, he will not be the Masked Saiyan, as, simply put, the shoes, as nice as they are, They're too wrinkly to be the same ones that the Masked Saiyan
They
wears.
don't look anything like his.
They don't look
No,
a single bit like the Masked Saiyan shoes. And how could the Masked Saiyan hide such pointy hair behind
exactly.
a mask? It would not make sense.
There's such completely different armor as well. wouldn't you say?
Indeed. Now, number 4 comes Belmod, because
Let's skip over.
Belmod, yeah. At number 3 comes this guy again.
Kashmir.
This guy, I think Cashew here could very easily be the Masked Saiyan, as I mean the eyes identical. He hides his hair, the black and red, the shoes, the gloves, everything is almost there.
I think the most damning piece of evidence has to be Casey's hat right here. It would cover his wig.
Indeed, Kasambo here, his hat is far too close to something like, look at the shape. As you can see here, the hat, you can see the hair underneath.
It's immaculate, beautifully designed, might I say.
Indeed. Number 2 comes Dennis.
Dennis.
Now Dennis here. Dennis could very easily be the Masked Saiyan. I mean, look at the hair. He is not an emo.
Absolutely not.
This is prime material here. He could very easily be the Masked Saiyan.
Yes, but there's one who stands above them all, in my opinion.
Indeed. Raditz.
Raditz.
Their similarities are too close. I mean, they both wear green on their head. I mean, that can't be a coincidence.
Absolutely not. Can't be.
They both wear wrist armor. How is that a coincidence? Look at the shape of their armor. The torso and the side skirt pieces, almost identical.
The boots.
The boot, indeed. The tail. They're both saying the wig. Everything comes down to it. It is so obvious. But wait. Who really is the Masked Saiyan?
We're going to reveal it right now.
The Masked Saiyan truly is Kevin.
I thought his name was David.
Is his name? I thought his name was Kevin.
No, it wasn't David. I thought it was like an
Alfred.
Almonzo.
Almonzo the Saiyan. Now, he is very obviously the Masked Saiyan. As we can see here, they have the same colour scheme, the same red eyes. They both have the same shaped hair, the tail, the armour, the boots, the gloves, the wrist armour. Everything is identical.
Honestly, you didn't even need us to make this theory for you.
To make this
Anyone
connection.
could have made this connection.
You wouldn't need us to make this connection. However, it is our job to make it as easy as possible and to deliver all of the answers to you right on your sofa in your viewing pleasure. So, as you can see here, in the end, the Masked Saiyan's true identity is the Saiyan Almonzo.
Yes, you say my job. I don't get paid for it, do I?
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
You just mess it all up.
Thank you for
Thanks
watching
for watching
the Teory video.